welcome to another episode of the Wretched Wrench. On today's episode, we're going back, way back. We're doing the 1965 Buick wagon selection. Thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe.
Over 900,000 wagons. With the 10% figure holding steady since 1958, the predicted total car sales for 65 means almost 1 million wagons will be sold. 1 million wagons. That's quite a market to shoot for, isn't it? And your entries in both the smaller wagon field and the full-size class are competitive in every respect, from price to size. How are the wagons grouped? Automotive News says they fall easily and naturally into 3 classifications, according to size. As you can see, the Special falls into the intermediate class, the Sport Wagon in the full-size class. Let's take a quick look at our Special series as compared to the competition. In those areas wagon buyers are most interested in, the Special is fully competitive. Styling, cargo capacity, passenger comfort, economy, and price. Price is extremely realistic. For $100 or so, a prospect can step up from a Chevy 2 or a Ford Fairlane, and for Oldsmobile and Pontiac, the difference is negligible. What you get for the little bit of extra money can be sold to any prospect. The traditional Buick ride and prestige, and an engine at least as powerful as any other wagon in the intermediate class. Going even further, the Special is fully capable of taking over a piece of the compact wagon market. The average price difference is less than $300. And what you get for that money, well, that goes without saying. Another consideration, the clear-cut trend among buyers for more luxury, performance, and handling, regardless of size. When a prospect like this comes along and wants the Special size, you can give him the most luxurious wagon in the field at a competitive price. Further, you can remind him that Buick resale is better than Oldsmobile and Pontiac. 1964 Special wagons retain 73 2/10% of their selling price, while Oldsmobile fell to 71.9 and Pontiac to 70.1. The Buick Special line for 65 is flexible, designed for maximum market penetration. Now, before we go into our sport wagon line for 65, and see just how profitable it can be, let's clear up one thing right away. Why have we discontinued the LeSabre wagon this year? Well, there are many reasons. The sport wagon is bigger than the LeSabre, yet it sells for less. The LeSabre wagon had low sales volume. The sport wagon offers better design and styling. All these things dictated the change. Let's consider each point in more detail. The Sport Wagon has 11 cubic feet more cargo space than the LeSabre wagon. Bigness means different things to different people, but this is a point everybody recognizes as big. Also, it has more second and third seat headroom, more leg room, more rear shoulder room, 8 inches more shoulder room in the third seat, and the same shoulder room in the front seat. It's a big wagon. And it sells for $565 less than LeSabre buyers paid, according to a recent survey among wagon buyers. Here we have a sport wagon, as big and bigger than the LeSabre, for a whole lot less money. Obviously, the sales potential is much greater. Styling? It's distinctive. A new, modern silhouette. Something different from the old wagon concept. Most important of all, the sport wagon design was based upon the results of an extensive field survey of wagon owners. The sport wagon incorporates the specific items a wagon owner wants. A front-facing third seat, ease of loading with a tailgate lower to the ground than LeSabre, big cargo space, passenger comfort, and economical performance. One more reason for discontinuing the LeSabre wagon. In the complete 1964 model run, only 10,477 LeSabre wagons were sold. At this rate, it would be impossible to keep the wagon modern and competitive. So, to sum it up, the sport wagon has replaced the LeSabre wagon because it offers the same or better bigness features. It's a big wagon for less money. Styling and design are better, and it sells for $565 less, opening the door to a lot more buyers. Now, the full-size wagon potential. In 1964, these manufacturers sold 523,096 wagons. Over 500,000 wagons that are sales potential for Buick in every way. The sport wagon proved it could compete with great success in the last few months of the model year. In 1965, riding the wave of enthusiasm shown by buyers, it can take over a significant share of the wagon market. The sport wagon is fully competitive with all wagons in the full-size classification. In overall size, cargo volume, ease of loading, engine power and acceleration, seat material and design, styling and price. Those areas shown by research to be of paramount interest to the wagon buyer. The wagon was designed to meet these requirements. Take overall size, starting with wheelbase. The sport wagon wheelbase is longer than Chevrolet, Ford, and Mercury, the same as the Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser, and only an inch shorter than Pontiac and Dodge. Result? A full-size smooth ride equal to or better than competition. A true full-size, traditionally Buick ride. Wheelbase. This is where the length really counts. Now, overall length, which has no effect on ride, as you know. The sport wagon is slightly shorter than all other wagons in its class, except Oldsmobile, which is the same. Consider the advantages this offers. Features that will make excellent sales points. The sport wagon is easier to park, takes up less space in the garage, is more maneuverable in traffic. It handles like a sedan. Does this shorter overall length conflict with the full-size image of the sport wagon? Not on your life. The sport wagon offers big cargo space, an item of paramount importance to the station wagon buyer, as big or bigger than almost every competitive wagon. So you get the advantages of the shorter length, yet have just as much space inside. Remember, this wagon was designed as a wagon. Before we go into cargo space comparisons, let me alert you to the confusing nature of some competitive claims. Many manufacturers include the underfloor compartment, and some don't even say that they do in their sales literature. Take Chevrolet. Their brochure says 106.1 cubic feet, period. But when you take away the underfloor compartment space, they are left with 94.1 cubic feet, less than Buick. The sport wagon has an underfloor compartment that can be locked, but it isn't included in our cargo space claims. Ford literature proclaims 103.3 cubic feet with an asterisk. In small print, you find that this includes 12 cubic feet underfloor. That makes Ford even less than Chevrolet. Pontiac, the same story. The sport wagon has a bigger cargo volume by 5.5 cubic feet. Yet the Pontiac Safari is over 9 inches longer in total length. That's quite a story to tell a prospect, isn't it? So as far as Dodge and Mercury go, it's the same story. Buick is bigger. You'll note that the Mercury cargo space is the same as Ford. In fact, the two wagons are just about the same, with the difference being in trim, etc., and the price. 106 cubic feet. That's what Oldsmobile says, but it's obvious they have the same cargo space we do, 97.5 cubic feet. No more, no less. So that's the cargo space story. Buick offers big cargo space, more cubic footage than any full-size competitive wagon, except for Oldsmobile, which is the same. Use this sales feature. And remember to clear up any misconceptions a prospect may have as a result of space based on the underfloor compartment. Going further with the cargo compartment, the length of the sport wagon compartment from the back of the front seat to the closed tailgate is longer than any competitive wagon. The same as Oldsmobile, of course. It's the same story with the length of the cargo compartment from the back of the second seat, longer than any other competitive wagon. Now, ease of loading. That's another prime interest of wagon customers. The sport wagon rear opening is wider than all competitive wagons, the same as Oldsmobile. Height of platform above ground, it's lower than every other competitive wagon except Chevrolet, and there's only a couple of inches difference there. The sport wagon is easy to load. Let's move on to engine performance, always a high priority with wagon buyers. Compared with Chevrolet and Ford wagons, Buick has a more powerful engine and at the same time is lighter in weight. This means much better acceleration and performance, an engine that's big enough to do the job. Dodge, Pontiac, and Mercury do have bigger engines, but with their heavier wagons, they need the extra horsepower to even approach Buick performance. And economy? Well, it just can't be as good. Next, let's consider interiors. Research shows that wagon buyers want vinyl, rugged and long-lasting, but luxurious in design. There's no question that the sport wagon offers as rich and finely designed interiors as any full-size wagon. And then there's styling. The sky-roof design is shared only by Oldsmobile. Other than that, this styling is unique. It sets the sport wagon apart from the customary shapes of Ford, Chevy, Pontiac, and the other competitive wagons. The sales appeal of the sky roof styling was proved in the first few months of 1964. In just 6 months, 15,078 sport wagons were sold. Compare this 6-month figure with only 10,477 LeSabre wagons sold in the full model year, and you begin to see just what a winner you have. Sure, the LeSabre had a bigger discount, but not too many were sold. Now, there's a golden opportunity to make a lot more deals. Sell customers a better wagon for a lot less money. Volume, it'll add up to increased commissions and profits. Now, let's move on to the price story. You may be surprised at how competitive the sport wagon really is. All full-size Chevrolet wagons. The maximum price difference is $118. In most cases, it's less than $100. For less than $100, a wagon buyer can step up to the prestige and superior engineering of a Buick. That's a situation that can be sold. The story is the same for Ford wagons, only better. In only one instance is the price difference as much as $100. In most cases, the difference is $50 or less, and the Country Squire two-seater sells for $53 more than the sport wagon. Here's a market we can really go after. Moving on to Dodge, Mercury, and Pontiac, the sport wagon is priced at least $136 lower. And at the greatest difference, Pontiac Bonneville, the sport wagon is $472 less. Here's the sport wagon just as big where it counts, better looking and costing far less money. There you have it, the full-size Buick sport wagon, big where it counts, bigger than the competition, yet offering an excellent price position. And only Oldsmobile has anything like it. Resale value? Excellent. For example, the NADA Central Region Guidebook shows the sport wagon holding at 72.2%, while Oldsmobile has fallen to 69.5%. And then there's one more big plus, the front-facing third seat. Research has shown it is one of the features most desirable to the station wagon buyer. All other wagon third seats face to the rear, except Olds and Ford. And look at what Ford has. Dual-facing rear seats, and a wagon, they say, will carry up to 10 passengers. The truth is, 8 adults is the limit, and the 2 in the back are pretty uncomfortable. And when it comes time to make load space, there are 2 seats to lower, plus the second seat. Not so with a sport wagon. Dropping that 1/3 seat is simple, as you know. Simply fold the back down. There's nothing to remove. Now, put the 3rd seat floor section in place, then the 2nd seat section. Repeat the procedure for the other side of the seat, and you're in business. Of course, putting the seats back up is just as easy and just as fast. Not so if you had a total of 3 seats to put up. Yes, the 1965 Sport Wagon offers a surefire way to increase your wagon business. In addition to Buick Ride, Buick Engineering, and Buick Prestige, the Sport Wagon has everything the wagon prospect wants. Full size, front-facing 3rd seat, luxurious interiors, competitive price, unique styling, more engine power, and ease of loading. It's a big story. Now, how do you get this story to wagon prospects? Well, you have to know who your prospects are. Know who buys station wagons. First off, people who own station wagons buy station wagons. Research shows that 2 out of 3 wagon owners buy another wagon. Also, people with young children go for wagons. A wagon owner is twice as likely to have children. And younger people buy wagons, the average buyer being about 7 years younger than the average buyer of all Buicks. Another thing, the income of the average wagon buyer is about $1,000 more than the average buyer of all Buicks. Okay, how can you find these prospects? Probably the best way is to make up a list of wagon owners and mail them appropriate literature, then follow up with a phone call. Of course, there are lots of other ways, as you know. For example, cooperate with parents groups like the PTA. Make a sport wagon available for special activities. Check driveways in areas where young, well-to-do people with children live. If you spot a wagon ready for trading, contact the owner by mail or phone. Tie in with local sporting goods stores. Make them your bird dogs. Put a sport wagon on display at the nearest ski lodge, if there are ski areas nearby. And work out an exchange deal with boat dealers in your area to get the names of people who buy boats. What do you do when you get your prospects in the showroom? Demonstrate. Station wagon prospects more than any other people want to see, feel, and try out the features. For example, 2 out of every 3 buyers personally test the tailgate operation in the showroom. Don't miss the chance to show them the great folding seat arrangement in both the 2- and 3-seat sport wagons. This is something they'll go for because it's better than the competition. And then the demonstration ride. Like all Buicks, the sport wagon must be driven to be fully appreciated. Let them feel the performance and acceleration station wagon buyers are so interested in. Give them a chance to see the advantages of the sky roof, the effectiveness of the new kind of glass, and let them see just how maneuverable this new kind of full-size wagon is. Big on the inside, big as any wagon, but it handles like a sedan. The 1965 Buick Sport Wagon. It's more than competitive in size, performance, and price. It's designed to take over a good hunk of that full-size market. The Sport Wagon and the Special Wagon. Together, they give you 2 distinct, flexible lines of Buick station wagons, a big story to tell your prospects, and a real opportunity to capture a full share of the station wagon market in 1965.
All right, guys, what'd y'all think about the 65 Buick selection for wagons? Leave a comment, let me know. Thanks for watching.